Good morning, friends. Today is a rainy day. I'm in the mood for brownies, so that's what we're going to be making. Now let me tell you something about these brownies. They are next level. Box brownies are great. I am not knocking box brownies, but these are something else. They're really fudgy, but they're not dense, they're not greasy, and somehow they're a little cakey too, but they're not dry. It's so perfectly in between. Here's the thing about brownies. They are really easy to make. You almost can't mess it up. Most brownie recipes are going to be pretty similar. Similar ingredients, but mostly the same, and really similar amounts. The key to the perfect brownie is, it's in the ingredients. You have to put in the right stuff, but it's the amount, the ratio of everything that makes all the difference. And I have finally figured out the perfect brownie. Now, I didn't really do much. All you need to do is you try something out. You try out the recipe, you make adjustments to it to make it better, and then you do it again. It was super simple. But now that we've got it, let's go make it. But first, safety. As always, make sure you have a parent or guardian around to supervise. The oven is very hot, so oven mitts, use them. And if you need help with anything with the oven, putting the pan in, taking it out, don't be afraid to ask. It's much better to ask than try and get burned or drop the pan. So be careful, watch your arms, watch your hands, use your oven mitts, and be safe. Okay, so first things first, we preheated the oven to 325 degrees Fahrenheit. That way, it'll be ready for the brownies by the time the brownies are ready to go in. Next up, we are going to prep our brownie pan. This is a 9 by 9 inch pan. You could use 8 by 8, but either one, this is a great size for the brownies. They end up being a nice height, and they're all cooked really evenly. Parchment paper. This is what we're going to use to line the pan. It makes it super easy. Nothing is going to stick, and we're going to be able to just pick the brownies up out of the pan. It's really great. So we buy the kind, it's already cut into this big sheet. So all I have to do is cut it in half. You can either fold it down the middle or use your pan to, hopefully this is quiet. You can use your pan to see the middle spot, and then mine just rolls back up, or you can cut it, make a mark, and we will cut it down the middle. One of these pieces will be a little bit smaller than the other. I kind of prefer that because it fits in there a little bit better. You'll see. So I'm gonna cut the parchment in half, and then we're going to use this cooking spray. This is really just olive oil in a spray bottle. You're going to spray this in the pan because this will help the parchment stick to the pan. Otherwise, it'll have a little bit of trouble. So that is what we're going to do. Okay, so time to cut the parchment. All I'm gonna do is take some scissors. We already have our middle point. It should be about right. If you get it wrong, just, get another piece of parchment paper and try it again. So I'm just gonna cut it down the middle. I'm gonna turn it this way. This is a little bit easier. Be careful, watch your hands. I forgot to say this in the safety reminders. Watch your hands. But we're just gonna cut this right down the middle. It should be pretty straight. It should be good. All right, so this is the smaller piece. This is the bigger one. We're just, now, if it doesn't fit exactly right, that's okay. You can try it again. But what we're gonna do is we're just gonna test it. I know we haven't sprayed the pan yet. We're just gonna test it and make sure it fits nicely. So that fits pretty well. Time to spray our pan down. Honestly, all I really do is I kind of rub it around with my fingers because we don't want a lot of grease. Because we don't really need, the oil is just for the parchment to stick. And then we're going to spray the sides. 3 should be good. And now it is ready for the parchment. So what we're going to do is I'm going to stick the smaller one in there first. It is really just there to help line the bottom, make sure there's no leaks, and that it all kind of stays together. And now I actually kind of like to put a little bit in between the two pieces, a little bit of oil in between the two pieces of parchment, because it helps them to stick to each other. And so now I'm just going to go like this. So that second piece of parchment on the bottom, the reason why that is there, the main reason, is to help make sure that the corners are filled, the corners of the pan, that is. So if there's a little overlap with the two pieces, that's a good thing. So press the corners in really, really tight, make sure they're solid, and then we're gonna put this off to the side. If there's any adjusting that needs to happen before we put the brownies in, we can do that. But our pan is prepped, and now let's make some batter. Okay, so let's get started mixing our wet ingredients. We have 1/3 cup melted butter. It is melted and it's hot, which is what we want. I put it in the microwave for about 50 seconds. That did the trick. Then we have 1 cup and 1/3 of white sugar, 2 eggs, and a tablespoon of olive oil. And I also have a teaspoon of vanilla in there as well. So we're gonna put in the melted butter, just like that. And then we are going to put in the olive oil and vanilla and the sugar. And now we're gonna whisk it. You can use, if you have a stand mixer like that, if you have that, use it, that's great. If you have a whisk or even a fork, if you have a hand mixer, whatever is great. But this is super easy, so we're just gonna use the whisk today. Now shake the sugar out. I just want to whisk it until it's fully combined. Now that should be good. And then we're gonna put it, you could put 1 egg at a time. I'm just gonna put 2, both of them at the same time. And then we're gonna whisk this together until it's fully combined. Because you see, it's still kind of separated. So whisk it until it's fully combined. That looks pretty good. And now, what we're gonna do is sift in our dry ingredients. Okay, in this bowl I have 3/4 cup of all-purpose flour. I have 2/3 cup cocoa powder, 1/4 teaspoon baking powder, and 3/4 teaspoon salt. Now, I pre-measured things today. It makes things go by a lot faster. I feel like I keep my workspace much cleaner. You don't have to do that if you don't want to, but it helps. So now that this is all together, we're just gonna sift this in using this, you could call this a sieve, a strainer, a colander, but regardless, we're just gonna dump all of our dry ingredients in here and sift it together. And all sifting really does is it gets the lumps out of all of this powder, because we don't want the lumps in there. A lump of flour is not great to bite into when you're eating brownies or anything really. So we're just gonna dump this in. And now you can shake it like this, or you can tap the side. Anything is really fine. And we see it just flows out so nicely. And it's almost through. And you'll see in a second why we need to sift. Why we need to sift, especially the cocoa powder. Because I don't know if you can see all of these little, and you actually, you know what we're gonna do? I don't know if you can see all of these little like clumpy pieces. They are clumpy. We don't want that in the brownies, so we're just gonna press them through. So now that we've done that, we can set that aside and start using our spatula and fold in the dry ingredients. Now folding really just means you just kind of scrape the side and turn it over. You can stir, but what folding does is it gently mixes in the flour, whatever dry ingredients you have that need to be mixed in. That way we don't get too much flour, not too much flour. That way we're not too rough with it and it stays light because we want it to be fudgy, but we still want the air in there. We don't want to totally kill it. So I'm gonna mix this together, and then we will be ready for the chocolate chips. Alrighty, our batter looks great. It is thick and smooth and chocolatey. We are ready to put in our chocolate chips. So I have 3/4 of a cup of chocolate chips. We're gonna add that in and then fold it in. Now you can put whatever you want in here. If you want chocolate chips, put chocolate chips. If you want nuts, you can put nuts in here. You can use M&Ms or some other kind of candy, anything. Go crazy, do what you want. Do what sounds good. Okay, so that's all folded in. This looks so good. I want to eat this now. But we have our pan ready to go. Our oven is heated up. We're gonna spread this in the pan and then we're gonna bake it. All right, so let's get this in the pan. I'm just gonna scrape it down a little bit. Get this ready to go in. The bowl is heavy and the batter is heavy. So we're just going to, let me move this over a little bit. We are just going to kind of hold it. Now if the bowl is too heavy to hold by yourself, go ahead and ask for some help. This isn't too heavy for me, but if it was any heavier, I would have some trouble. So I'm just, hopefully I don't drop it. That would be funny, but okay, so we're just gonna get this in. Here's the thing about the parchment paper. It will probably try to slide around on you a little bit. That is okay. We just want to be careful. So what I like to do to start is I just kind of press the batter. If I try to spread too much or too roughly, the parchment's gonna move. So I'm just gonna kind of, I'll turn it this way. Hopefully you can see this well. So I'm just gonna kind of press the batter into the pan. Make sure you get it into the corners. And then once it's spread pretty evenly, then we'll be ready for the oven. Okay, the batter is all spread in the pan. Hopefully this doesn't slide, but it's all spread out and it's even, it's in the corners. It looks good. We are going to put these in the oven. Again, the oven is set at 325 degrees Fahrenheit. We're gonna put them in for 38 minutes. Now, every oven bakes a little differently, so yours might be done at 36 minutes, but it's around 38. So check them at about 30 or 33 minutes. If you want them a little extra fudgy, you can take them out a couple minutes early. If you want them a little more cakey, you can leave them in for a couple extra minutes. But 38 is a great round number for me. They always come out great at that time. That should be close. So we're gonna put these in and I will see you guys in 38 minutes. Alrighty, so our brownies are cool. Once you take them out of the oven, once they're ready, you can let them cool for at least 30 minutes and then they should be pretty good after that, maybe an hour. You can stick them in the fridge if you want to, but ours are ready to be taken out of the pan. So all we need to do, you can pick up either section of the parchment paper because it's layered pretty well, but we're just gonna pick this one up. See, it comes right out. There's no sticking, there's no anything. So we're just gonna put these on the cutting board and we should be able to lift them right off of the parchment paper pretty easily. So, and I don't think it'll break. Be careful doing this just to make sure it doesn't like break in the middle, but I think we're okay. So we're just gonna peel the parchment paper off. Like that. And now we can cut them up. So we're just gonna make some slices right down the sides. We're gonna do 3 this way. And then we're just gonna turn it and we're gonna do 4 this way. These are so thick, they're nice and cool. When they're fully cooled like this, it turns out so much better cutting them because they don't stick to the knife really. I mean, look at how clean that is. All right. Alrighty, so joining us today for our taste test is...
This is where I come in. I don't cook it, I just eat it.
Do you want to pick your piece?
I'm drooling.
I feel like she's going to pick a corner.
Yes, a corner.
A corner.
What is the largest one? Let me see. Yeah, this one. Okay, my hands are clean. All right.
No, I'm kidding. They are.
Okay. Oh, this looks so
This
good.
looks so good.
Yes. Oh, wow.
Oh my god.
That is so good. That looks like I'm eating it.
That's it.
And my tummy. I make her laugh so easily.
You're breathing so hard.
These are so thick. It's so good.
They are really thick.
That's why I'm breathing so hard. They're so thick that I can't even get in oxygen.
I was gonna say because you're working to chew it. That's
They're
our
very
exercise
chewy.
for the day.
My jaw is always exercising. Well worth making.
It's worth the wait.
Mm-hmm.
That's all for me today, friends. I hope you had a fun time making this with me. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. If you made this with me, I would love to see how it turned out, so please tag or DM us. If you have any questions or requests, please leave them in the comments below, or feel free to contact me directly because I would love to hear from you. Come back soon to Kids Cook Island. We have a lot of cooking and baking left to do.